Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Fighter Heart podcast. I'm sitting here with Trap Daddy. How's it going, man?
How you doing, brother? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to come on. So we like to get into it real quick around here. So if you could just give us a little brief rundown about, your upbringing, where you're from, and then get right into your Fighter Heart story. We'll take it from there.
Sure. My name is Trap Daddy Gambino. I'm an MMA fighter, social media influencer, reality star, I guess. Trying to get into more serious acting and serious fighting. Yeah, I'm from Ohio. I came out here to Las Vegas about 7 years ago with nothing but a dream to fight and lose weight. And it was a long road of just being broke out here for a long time because I literally came from nothing. I have no friends out here, no family out here. My family back home was broke, so they wasn't ever much of a help, you know what I mean? And yeah, I came out here with nothing and slowly but surely started making my way up. Became an MMA fighter, started doing TV shows, got on the Dr. Phil show and
Yeah,
a couple other reality TV shows, and made a little bit of a name for myself out here in Las Vegas. And now I'm after the recent tragedies that's happened in my life, I'm attempting to overcome that and now just lose weight and come back to fighting, which is the hardest thing that's been for me lately. Like just coming back and just moving daily after all this stuff has been really tough. But that's the goal right now is to make it a comeback for fighting.
I got you. So you think your Fighter Heart story is pretty much your weight loss journey?
It used to be, but I'm not sure how much you know about my history, but in 2022, not too long ago, at the end of 2022, my 3-year-old daughter, me and my wife's 3-year-old daughter, I have a wife who's a retired professional fighter, also Ashley, my wife Gambino, shout out to her. Um, my 3-year-old daughter suddenly and unexpectedly passed away from acute leukemia. And when I say suddenly and unexpectedly, it was like within a span of 3 days. Like one day she's healthy, up eating her favorite food. The next day she feels a little sick. The day later, we take her to the hospital. Couple hours later, her heart stops. And to say the least, that was the most devastating thing that's ever happened to us. And that's that's what started the darkest but also most motivational moments of my life. So my daughter unexpectedly passed, and a week after her funeral, my wife was 20 weeks pregnant at the time, and she was feeling like really really sick. So we thought like, oh man, this pregnancy and our daughter passing and everything must be really really rough on her. So we took her to the hospital just to check up on her, and they found that she has a terminal illness, which is called severe pulmonary hypertension, and she was literally weeks away from passing away with the baby inside of her, and we didn't even know it. Like she was getting not enough oxygen to the point where her lips were blue, and we were all just thinking like, man, it's just tough pregnancy. Her daughter just died, so of course she's going to be having a rough physical time. so Pulmonary hypertension is a serious disease. It's a deteriorating condition. It doesn't get better, and it's something that you have to be put on life sustaining medication for. So when we got the news, we had a day to find out that we had to terminate pregnancy from for our other daughter, which was a healthy 20 week, and my wife, baby girl. We had to see the ultrasound and everything before, termination. So, we got to name her and everything like that. And, we it was rough to say the least, man. So we essentially lost two baby girls and found out my wife had a terminal illness within the span of a month. And that that is my fighter heart story. Like it's a so now my motivation before that I was fighting. And now my motivation is to come back and fight and get I know it sounds crazy, but get rich off of fighting to to help, save my wife's life. And it's a deteriorating disease. So when when um when we got the diagnosis, we didn't have a lot of time. Literally a day after they terminated pregnancy, and they put a pump in her chest, which she's literally living with to this day. And it's um it's a tube that goes directly into her heart, and the needle is in her heart pumping medication 24/7. And without that, she will die. And it's like it's changed everything about our lives, to the point where we can't even sleep in the same bed anymore. She has to sleep sitting up in a chair with oxygen. So if she doesn't sleep with oxygen, and she's a 33-year-old healthy, strong, beautiful woman, nobody would even expect that she lives like this. And
Is it hereditary? Like, how did she
this is
develop
the
it?
craziest thing. Just like acute leukemia, pulmonary hypertension disease literally comes out of nowhere, and there's no explanation for it. There's no cure for it. It's a deteriorating disease, like I said, and it's yeah. There's nothing to explain it. We try to say, like, is it, some people I guess can get like a version of it from like steroids. So that's the first thing they asked us, because she's a fighter. They're like, did she ever take any type of steroids? No, she was literally plant-based diet. Like we couldn't we couldn't pinpoint anything, and it was unfortunately a disease that comes out of nowhere, and it's not hereditary. Just like acute leukemia, we heard it was almost like a month after that story, we heard the same exact story. Like, we're sorry, we can't explain this. We don't know where it came. We don't like, it just happens. With acute leukemia, I guess like it happens if a gene zigs when it should have zagged. Like literally, it's the craziest thing.
Mm.
And yeah, that was so my wife went from, full-time fighting, working, to now uh she lost two of her baby girls, and she has a deteriorating heart disease. And it's been a little over a year, or I don't know, time has been flying, but it was at the end of 2022 when all this happened. So it's been a little over a year. And it's getting worse. And she's, I'm strong for handling all this as a father and stuff, but her, man, she's the strongest person I've ever known. And that's why I'm sad that she hasn't got the chance to interview with you guys yet, because you would love her. She's a tough girl. She's a really good woman.
Well, we definitely love to talk to her at some point, man. Um, so what can you guys, is there anything you can actually do? Is there like, I guess the medication, that's it? Like she has to just
There's So the medication is basically um made to I guess let you live as long as you can. So since it's a deteriorating disease, your organs one by one pretty much shut down. It's horrific. So when you have heart failure, it's like first you start like your oxygen gets low, then her vision's already starting to go. Your vision goes, and then like slowly one by one your body just deteriorates, literally. And the medication that she's on right now prolongs her life until hopefully, it's such a rare disease, and people are still studying it, that we have faith that we could, you know stretch this out until we find a cure, you know, and the more money I make, the more I can, like, everything that every comfort matters for her. Like, she's on a battery right now. Like so like our batteries recharge, her battery doesn't. So like every little bit of comfort I can give her um helps her life. So I'm trying to do everything I can on top of being her caretaker, taking care of the kids, because she doesn't, have enough energy to do a lot of this stuff, even though she still does. She doesn't have a lot of energy to do a lot of this stuff. So I got to be the father, the caretaker, the worker. I got to make the money. They don't, you would think going through stuff like this that they would have like financial help for people like us, families like us. They don't. And I didn't know that. I would never think about that. Nobody does, you know,
Yeah.
but it also makes you think like, man, these other families who ain't as strong as us, I feel really bad for them because I don't know how they do this. I don't know how we're doing this.
So what's your plan? You said you want to make money. What is there like a surgery you can pay for to help out, or is there like
So eventually she's going to need uh, a lung transplant and some other crazy stuff. And eventually she will need that. And I will need the money for that. And there's new medications and stuff coming out all the time that if we had the money for, we could try, and we could fly out to this place and try that and talk to this doctor and do that. But unfortunately, so my plan is to, I'm an influencer. I got a big following. Not a huge following, but I got a decent following. I've been on TV and stuff like that. Um, I want to fight Jake Paul at the end of the day, and I'm losing weight specifically to get to his weight class. He's gaining weight, ironically. We have mutual connections. I have a lot of work to do. I have to get my clout up a lot. I have to promote myself a lot. I have to drop a couple chins. And one by one, I feel like if I fight Jake Paul, that is the ultimate goal so I can get rich and save my wife.
I mean, that's a payday right there for sure.
Yeah, that's a hell of a payday.
I mean, he's
And
about
it,
to
it would
fight
all go
Tyson.
to her health for sure.
He's about to fight Tyson, so
Man,
it'd be after.
everybody thinks that Mike Tyson's going to win that fight, but I mean, not everybody, but I see it going a different way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone say that one yet.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I wish I could be there in person, especially like if I could be there like in front row, I could taunt him or something. Anything to get closer to Jake Paul. I got I have some mutual, like I said, I have some mutual connections. We've worked alongside each other a few times, and he definitely knows who I am, but he doesn't care who I am yet. But that's up to me to make him care who I am. So
So
one by one,
would you want to be boxing him or an MMA fight?
boxing for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a boxer at heart. I fought MMA and jujitsu and all that, but boxing is definitely my thing. So my next goal is I have a fight coming up in December, or no, they said when was it? I don't even know. They haven't pinpointed a date yet, but they want to fly me out to Poland to fight some some Poland influencer. And I've never heard of this guy in my life, and he has like millions of followers. I can't even pronounce his name. Well, I'll go ahead and send you the link after this interview. But he's a pretty big guy. He's big and muscular and scary. So I figured if I, drop that guy, it'd be some good promotion. And every guy that I fight, after I knock him out, I'm gonna call out Jake Paul one by one. I have to get that fight. That's my goal, and I'm really good at manifesting destiny. So I'm hoping I can get this one on under the table.
Yeah, man. I mean, I hope I see you there too. You seem like a big dude though. So how big are you? What are you like six something? Six?
No, it's funny when people see me in person, they're always like, "Man, I thought you were way taller than that." I'm only like 5'11",
Okay.
and on a good day, when I got some like some tall shoes on. I might be 5'10", who knows? But I'm 340 right now, and I am coming down from 465 pounds.
Wow.
Is when I started, I was morbidly obese, and I literally just started to like lose weight. And I was like posting videos of me punching the bag and stuff. And then I got trolls, as a fat guy online telling me that I'd never fight and all this stuff. And meanwhile, I'm in Ohio and I probably had no intention of fighting, but they kept poking at me, man. And that gave me the inspiration to just randomly come out here and follow my dreams. And now I got long blonde hair and I'm tan, losing weight and fighting. It's fucking weird, man. It's really weird.
How have you lost the weight? So you lost about 120 pounds, right?
Yeah, so far, and I have a lot more to lose. But it wasn't training as much as it was diet. I went plant-based for like a year, which was crazy, and I learned a lot doing that. And now I'm mostly carnivore. I eat mostly just meat, honestly, and that's been helping me a lot. It's changed my body totally, and I feel like I'm losing weight like weekly now. And this carnivore thing is kind of new. So yeah, I eat like potatoes and stuff like that, like potatoes and rice. But other than that, it's mostly just like ground beef, steak, chicken, you know, every day, all day.
What does your day look like, an average day for you? Is there training and stuff like that, I assume?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, every day I try to wake up early, take care of the house first, take care of the kids, make sure the wife wakes up at a good time, make sure she sleeps through the morning. She has to get like, I get like 6 to 8 hours of sleep. She has to get like 10 to 12 hours of sleep every night. So like right now, I have to be a little quiet because she's sleeping on the other side of this wall. And yeah, I have to she's my priority. So I have to take care of her first, and then the kids and the house. Then I go out and I do my business. I'm an eBay reseller, so media collector. I buy and sell DVDs, tapes, and stuff like that. Once I get that out the way, I'll hit the gym, do that. It's like I have a million things to take care of, but it keeps me busy and it keeps me distracted. And I if I don't do all these things, I get a lot of dark thoughts. So that's why you see my room looking like a 15-year-old boy's video game room or some shit like that. I buy all these distractions and shit for me and my wife, and it seems to help a little bit. Distraction is key nowadays. Just keep moving.
Yeah, I got you, man. How old are you, by the way?
34 years young. I feel like I feel like I'm 24, man. It's crazy. I feel like I'm aging backwards. It's weird. I don't know if it's the losing weight or what, but I grew up literally sitting on my butt playing computer games and talking to girls on like Yahoo Messenger like my whole childhood. So and I ate horrible, and I feel like that's how I made it up to 465 pounds. But I didn't do anything. I like preserved my body, and now in Las Vegas competing at like these stages that I don't even belong on. Like I'm on these big I competed at Naga, I competed at High Rollers, and this is before I even like I don't even have a blue belt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, and they're putting me on these big stages because I was on TV and shit. And it's an interesting life, man. But it forces you to just go. You know?
Well, you mentioned you were on TV. What were you on Dr. Phil for? Was it because of the weight loss?
So I kind of manipulated the staff a little bit to get on the show because I knew it was going to be like, Dr. Phil is going to talk shit to you no matter, that's what he does. He makes you look stupid, but you get a lot of clout on it. And if you do it the right way, like Bad Baby or some of these other people, like it could be lucrative and you could, get big fights off of it and stuff like that. And that's what I was thinking. So I went on there saying like, like boo hoo, I got all these trolls that are messing with me and I can't fight because of it. And like they're pretending to be me and calling other people. Like I was just like complaining and shit. And it got me on the show. And it got some pretty funny clips out of it. And the best part about it is I got some, main event spots and stuff like that. And that's really what I wanted. But, at the same time, I still get people to this day messaging me, calling me a fake wannabe fighter and an egotistical this and that. Like they really did make me look like somebody I'm totally not. But that's TV, and I'm okay with that. I was also on Divorce Court and all kinds of other crazy TV shows. Like, man, yeah, it's been a wild journey out here in Las Vegas. I'll just say that.
I could imagine, man. So, what's your like strong suit in fighting? You said it was boxing, like that's your bread and butter.
Yeah, man, I suck at jujitsu. I fought this guy. I don't know if you remember Vine back in the day when it was really big. So the guy who wore spoons over his eyes and he was like, I can't see my haters. He was like this little fat kid.
Not really, but
Well, he
yeah.
went super viral on Vine and he grew up and he learned jujitsu. And they put me against that kid because he's like a quote unquote influencer. And he's like 190 pounds. I was talking all kinds of trash. I'm like, man, I'm so big. I'm gonna just go in here and just mop this guy. This guy ain't shit to me. Like he went in there and choked me out within like 30 seconds. It was the worst. So yeah, boxing is definitely my thing. Jiu-jitsu is not.
I assume it'd be hard to take you down though. You could probably take a
You
punch.
would think. You would think. I need to train more jujitsu if I want to fight jujitsu. You can't, compete with an artist if you never painted in your life.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I was doing. I was just getting thrown into these positions when in reality, I grew up boxing my whole life. Like I said, I grew up broke, so we was in like the Salvation Army and shit like that. So oh, sorry for cussing and stuff like that. So I grew up like boxing and stuff. So boxing is my thing for sure. I got chin detectors, and I'm good at putting people down.
Yeah. Do you have what's your record?
0-1 in MMA. So I lost, and I kind of, I don't want to take credit for. I beat myself. I'll just say that I knocked the guy down, pretty much out. The whole plan was to not follow him because, of course, I don't grapple. When he goes down, stay up, tell him to come up. I got excited. I jumped on top of him, blew out my knee, and the round ended. He came out for the second round, ready to get his comeback. I couldn't walk out for the second round, so they called it a TKO. And props to him for surviving that and being able to come out because I don't know how it would have went for him. If I would have just like limped out there, I probably should have. But it happens. It was my first fight, so yeah. Unfortunately, I'm 1-0 or 0-1 in MMA, and that's my official fight record. When it comes to jujitsu, I don't know. I'm probably like 0-10 or something like that. Because
Yeah.
I did like tournaments in Arizona, Las Vegas. Yeah, I did my fair share of jujitsu.
So the next fight is in Poland. That's the next one.
Say that. Oh, Poland. Yes.
That's the next
Yeah,
before.
and I'll go ahead and I'll shout out the promotion, and hopefully this will give them incentive to put me up in a nice hotel and stuff when I get out there. So they're called One Hit, and it's the craziest thing ever. So you hold a bar, and then you hit with one glove. So you have to hold it, and then you have to like block and hit with the other. I don't know. It's crazy. These Polish fighters are insane. But yeah, you stand right across from each other and you hold a bar and then you use the other hand to hit.
So you're only hitting with one arm.
Yeah. And you have to stay stationary. So there's no footwork. I don't know how I'm gonna train for it, but it's something that I could put on a notch on my belt. I'm also looking to might fight for hot boxing, which I promoted them before, which is one of Mike Tyson's promotions, and that's out here in Las Vegas. And I worked for them before as a promoter, but this time I might be a fighter, and that's that's also an interesting promotion because you have I think it's like 24-ounce boxing gloves, like the giant boxing gloves. And as you're fighting, they have a leaf blower with marijuana blowing smoke into the ring, like covering it, so you can't even see and you can't breathe. It's the dumbest thing ever, but I might do it.
You Ohio guys are crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing me and Jake Paul have in common. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're gonna find each other. Trust me, I'm coming, Jake.
Well, I mean, this one hit sounds like power slap in a way. This
I know, right? It's kind of similar.
yeah.
I would never do power slap, and I probably shouldn't do the one hit either. But I don't know. It's money and it's popularity, so that's what I need right now.
Well, power slap is big in Vegas, right? That's where it started with.
Oh, it's huge. I have a lot of friends in Power Slap. When they come over here, they always party with me out here in Vegas. And yeah, I got a lot of friends in Power Slap. I was gonna be a part of Power Slap before all this crazy stuff happened in my life. I was actually gonna be on the first episode, and then I broke my hand on one of those like slap machines at the fair or
Yeah,
the punch machines.
yeah.
So I was trying to impress everybody and like do it because I was like, I'm gonna be on this show. Watch this. And I just broke my hand.
On the bag, you broke your hand on the bag itself.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. It's soft, isn't it? I didn't know.
No, it was like it's this ball that's like connected to a steel bar, and like it's just a ball around the bar. So I think I hit the bar or something.
Ah,
But I'm honestly thankful that that happened because I don't want any. After seeing, dude, I'm good. I'm getting slapped in the face, just sitting there. Like, how are you gonna? No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm all right.
you look like you could take a punch though, or a
I
slap.
can, but I don't want to. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
really good at dodging because I don't want to get hit in the face.
So, what is the goal weight to get to here?
300 pounds before my next fight for sure. I'm 340 now. I'd like to lose another 40 pounds before my next fight. I'm really super light on my feet for 340. So I can't imagine what I'd be like at 300 pounds. I think I'd be at like, I might be at my optimal weight at 300 pounds, to be honest.
Wow, yeah, 5'11". That's still
Like
pretty high.
300, 280. That might be perfect for me.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the plan? Is it just keep doing what you're doing basically, like training and
Yeah. So I have a lot of celebrity influencer connections, friends, followers, and they're bigger than me. So I'm trying to use that to get my name as close to Jake Paul as possible while fighting and losing weight and keeping my sanity and keeping my health and my family safe at the same time and protecting and financially supporting them. Yeah, it's a lot, but that's the goal is to get to Jake Paul, man, because I know once I get that, that's the closest way I can get rich. I'm not an engineer. I'm not gonna come up with a patent for anything. I'm not gonna own a McDonald's franchise. Uh, I have to fight. So I'm literally fighting for my wife's life.
it's a crazy story, man. It's
It's wild, yeah.
yeah, wild. I know you're gonna get there though. I see it, and you're like,
I
no,
have no
yeah,
choice.
yeah. So we're coming to the end here. I just want to know, do you have any, let's say you could talk to, your past self or maybe someone else who's lost a couple of their kids, what's some advice you would give to someone who just went through that tragedy?
Oh man. That's I surprisingly I've never had that question before.
Mm.
I've had a million interviews. I really have to think about that. Um, it's a hard one because you can't, a lot of people try to give me advice and it's almost impossible because they can't relate to the darkness that I felt. So it's like, how would you know? Like I don't want to feel stuck up or anything, but it's like, how would you know? Like a lot of people tell me like pray about it. or you're in my thoughts. Like I appreciate the energy. I really do. I appreciate all that. But what helps me the most is knowing that like we're all in this together. And like whether they admit it or not, they do feel what you're feeling a little bit. And it's because we're all in this together. And if you weren't, then they wouldn't feel that. So the more I live, the more I lose, and the more I gain, the more I'm feeling like we're all together in a weird way. And I don't want to sound too hippie, you know what I mean? But I really do, man. The universe is a funny thing. So I would say, you know, not it's not about faith or keeping thoughts or anything like that, but just remember that you're not alone, even though you feel like you are.
Yeah, and that's how you felt, I assume, back then.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm. That's great advice, man. So
Thank
where
you.
can we follow your journey here? What's your social media stuff?
So I'm pretty much only active on my Instagram, which is Trap Daddy MMA,
Mhm.
and I'm on YouTube and stuff like that. Like I got some music videos and stuff. If you guys want to check it out, there's a couple things on YouTube, but mostly Instagram is what's popping for me right now.
All right, beautiful. We'll message you on there. Um, all right, man. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for taking the time again. And
Hey, thanks for having me and listening to my story, man.
of course, man, you're a strong dude. I know you're gonna come out on top with this.
I appreciate that, man. And I gotta send my wife to come talk to you too soon.
Yeah, definitely. Would love to, man. Everyone else, thank you again for listening to another Fight or Heart podcast. We'll see you again next week.